If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sharon, gardening in Zone 8A. Today I am doing diced tomatoes with a Italian spice blend. The spice blend I got from the Blue Book, Ball Blue Book Guide to Preserving, and the instructions for canning I got from the USDA Home Canning book. So I thought I was recording. I was not. I had washed the tomatoes already. I washed the tomatoes. I cored the tomatoes. These are Roma tomatoes I'm using. I washed them. I cored them. I um, put an X at the bottom with the knife, and that helps to peel them a lot better. So I have my pressure canner there, and I have my water bath canner out. The water bath canner has hot water in it. I have boiling water in there. So what I'm going to do is take after, I finish washing tomatoes and everything, I'm going to take them, put them into the boiling water. The direction says for 30 to 60 seconds, leave them in the water and do not stack them. Do not pile them in. Do them in layers. Don't just do it in layers. Don't stack them on top of each other in your pot. So you're waiting for that skin to like peel away a little bit. And once you see the skin that, well, I set the clock for 60 seconds, 1 minute. So once that peels away, I just take it out. I have a big bowl of ice water and I put it in the ice water and I'm just doing it one at a time. Hot water, ice water, hot water, ice water. So now I'm peeling the skins off, and they're coming off so easy because of the X at the bottom and the putting them in the hot water and all of that. And let me tell you, I did not want to do this because I wanted to do this before, but the part of where I had to peel the skin, I read that I had to peel the skin. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do this. And I was going to do whole tomatoes or just half tomatoes, like cutting them in half and doing it that way. And then I said, you know what? I use more diced tomatoes, so can what you use most. And I use diced tomatoes. I don't really use whole tomatoes in my cooking, like canned whole tomatoes. Can what you cook, okay? So I'm just peeling that off now. The recipe from Ball, it is 4 teaspoons of dried basil, 2 teaspoon of dried thyme, 2.5 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1.5 teaspoon of dried rosemary, and 1.5 teaspoon of dry sage, and 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of hot red pepper flakes. I didn't use hot red pepper flakes in mine. And okay, let me tell you the exciting part. The basil came out my garden. Amen. The oregano came out my garden. Amen. The rosemary came out my garden. Amen. So half of, oh, and the sage came out of my garden. More than half. The garlic powder and the thyme did not come out my garden. So this is homegrown. Oh, the tomatoes didn't come out my garden either. All my tomatoes are in the freezer. I bought this from one of my farmers market. I bought it on the way home from church. So I had to take care of them real quick. And this is such a simple thing to do. Guys, please try it seriously. Anyway, so I'm just moseying along peeling, and once I finish peeling everything, I'm going to cut it up and I'll show you that. Like I said, my I wanted to do half, cut it in half, but then I don't can what you use. Seriously, I'm learning that. Last year was just me doing the joy of canning. So let me just try everything or try everything that I find to be easy and just can stuff. Like I can pickles, and my husband is the only one that eats pickles in the house. My kids sometime. But my husband is the only one that really eats pickles, and he's not snacking on a pickle every day. So I canned a lot of pickles. Why? You live, you learn. And then my pickle canning was not that great because the pickles I grew were not for canning. There were snacking pickles and slicing pickles. They were not pickling pickles. So I'm God willing, I'll try it next year again. Save those tomato skins. You're gonna save those tomato skins because I dehydrated my tomato skins, and you can use it in your well, when you're cooking. You can add water to it and have it as tomato paste. Save everything. Don't let nothing go to waste. So I was cutting them in half, and then I said, "Oh, okay, I cut it in half. Let me cut it in another half." And then yeah, I'm showing you like you can do it like that, or you can do it the whole tomato. If you use a whole tomato, do it the whole tomato. The choice is yours. So I diced mine up. I cut mine up in little diced it up and put it in the pint jars. So pint jars, we're canning them at uh 40 minutes, and quart jars are 45 minutes. So I have my bowl. I'm putting them inside of the bowl. Let me just tell you. Let me just say it again. This was so easy to do. It's stress free, honestly. And I am a beginner canner, like the beginning stages of canning. And if I did it, you can do it. You can. Get you a really good book. The Ball Blue Book for Guide to Preserving is a good book. USDA Home Canning. These books you can get them off of Amazon because that's where I bought mine, from Amazon. So with tomatoes, I want to mention this. With tomatoes, you need to put lemon juice in there. It's called an acidifier. You need to put lemon juice in it. So for your quart jars, you put 2 tablespoons. For your pint jars, you put 1 tablespoon, and that's what I did. So I put the direction says put 2 tablespoon and a half, no, 2.5 teaspoon of the spice for pint jars inside of your jar. So I have that in there with the um, bottled lemon juice. Or, like I said, you can use citric acid. I have bottled lemon juice. Lemon juice. So I'm filling my jars. I got 10 jars out of this whole thing. And then I end up going back to the farmer's market and getting some more Roma tomatoes and got 10 more because I wanted 20. And I wanted to see if that would be enough for us for the whole year. So this year is also discovery on how many jars of apple sauce and apple this and apple, jelly and all that stuff that we will need. Things like that. So now I filled my jars up, and I'm sorry, you're looking for um half inch headspace on your jars. So you're gonna fill it up with the hot water. My water bath canner, I dumped out the water that I put the tomatoes in. I washed out the canner, and I added fresh water to it and boiled that water to put in my jar. And this is called raw packing, not hot packing. If I was hot packing this, I would have it in a pot. I would put it in a pot with the seasoning blends and everything, not the lemon juice, but the seasoning blends, and I would mix it all up together for 5 minutes, cook it on a heat for 5 minutes. But this is raw packing. So I'm just filling my jars up with the hot water. The seasoning is already at the bottom because I didn't want to put the seasoning on top. I wanted it down at the bottom. And then, of course, we're looking for half-inch headspace. And I told you guys, headspace is very important. And Debubbling is important as well. That's how you'll know get the correct headspace. Because once you debubble, you'll notice that your water line drops, and then you have to add. And when you add more liquid to it, you need to debubble again. Okay, debubbling is very important. I've mentioned that before. You don't want to feed your family things that are not good. Botulism. So debubble your products. And I will stand there and keep debubbling. Sometimes I see imaginary bubbles, but I will continue to debubble until I feel safe enough that yes, this is right. The headspace is correct. And when you put it in the pressure canner, it's for 40 minutes. The water's gonna go down. And also in your canner needs to have, read your manual for your canner. It needs to have the correct water in there. And I added vinegar to my water also because it's at a high pressure for 40 minutes. You need to have the correct water inside of your canner. And you need to have the correct headspace. All those things work together. Good product, quality product, debubbling, getting your correct headspace. We're going to screw our rings on, and we're going to do fingertip tight. We're not putting our whole hand down and going rah. Like, when your husband screw on a cork or something on the peanut butter or a jar, and you're like, why would he do this? You're trying to get it off. That's not what we're going for. We're going for fingertip tight. And sometimes when you take your jars out, I noticed that it happened with me. You'll notice like the ring is loose. Don't worry about it. It was pressure canned. What we're looking for is we're leaving our jars overnight to make sure that we have a genuine seal. That sometimes those things can seal and it's not really sealed. So you're leaving them overnight. Sometimes you could leave it up to 2 days if you feel safe. I did it. I've done that. And just make sure that you have a proper seal. If it's not properly sealed, put it in your refrigerator and use it within 2 to 3 days. And of course, we're going to put our jars into the pressure canner. I turn up the heat, I turn up the stove, and we're going to wait for that steam to come up for 10 minutes. Steady stream of steam to come up for 10 minutes. And once we see that, I time it for 10 minutes. Once that timer goes off, I put my rocker on and I wait for it to come up to pressure. The rocker that I have, it rocks back and forth. I mean, really, like, and if anyone remembers those, the Hawaiian dolls on the car they used to have, or the bobblehead, like that sort of thing that's rocking side to side. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that rock, looking for that hip rock, that rock, rock on, right? We're looking for that. So once we start seeing that rock and it's up to pressure, that's when we start our timer for that 40 minutes processing time. 40 minutes. And then once we get that 40 minutes is over, our timer goes off. Um, you turn off your stove. You wait for it to come all the way down to pressure. Everything to come down. That nipple popper, that popper thing pops down. Your gauge is down. Your regulator, you could take that off. And then I now I'm learning. I open up my pot, but I don't take the lid off. I slide it a little bit off, and I just let the steam just drip back down into the pot. And then you let it sit in there for 5 minutes. I time it once that 5 minutes is up. If you have a one of those, smart home devices, that's what I use. I use that. And you time it for 5 minutes, and then you take it out of your canner. So yeah, again, adjusting headspace. Sometimes the like with this tomato, they float up, and maybe I put too much in one jar, and I was able to get another jar from there. I was able to get fill up another jar because I piled up one too much. When I add liquid to it, it was over the half inch head space. So I adjusted, and I was able to get another jar. So I'm just putting the rings on, the lids and the rings on the canner, on the canner, on the jars. Yeah, I think I had 10 there, right? Yeah, 6 and 4, 10. So I'm just adding them into and I'm gonna stack these. I'm adding them into the canner now. They look good just like that. I was thinking to myself, I could put them in the refrigerator and keep it moving. But who have space in the refrigerator for all that? No, we are trying to put these on the shelf for it to be stable. But so yeah. So I'm telling you right now that I checked everything, made sure it was good, washed it from the last time I used it, and putting it on there. It was like giving me problems. Like on this thing, the gauge, you have to screw it on. You take it off when I pack it away because I told you I keep everything in a box. So I think I screwed the gauge on wrong. So it wasn't like leveling up properly. So I had to figure that out. I was about to give up and tell Corey to come figure this out. I'm good. I worked hard enough. Let him come get through the rest. So we're back. 5 minutes is up. We're gonna remove this. We're gonna remove it this way. But I left it on there because I find that to be easier. Leave it on there and let it leak back in there. I just wanted you guys to hear how loud it was in my house. That's why I am doing voiceovers a lot. If I'm doing a voiceover outside, it's because I forgot to put the mic on. But in the house, it's because it was loud. Just want to let you see how loud it is in my house. Anywho, so I'm taking it out now. They look amazing. They looked amazing the next day. So we're gonna leave them there. Always have a dish towel or a wood cutting board to put them on, not plastic, because these things are hot. It will melt. I, I would guess they will melt. So we're taking them out. Um, I washed them down the next day and I labeled them. I dated them and I labeled what's inside of them, what's in the content. So I just want to say thank you guys for coming along. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please give me a like. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to also, some newbie canners that are kind of nervous about canning, share my video with them. Show them what I'm doing over here. I'm doing it. We can all do it together. And you guys have a blessed day. Bye bye. I forgot to mention, I did wipe the jars down with vinegar and clean paper towel. And what I have in my slow cooker in the back is a pork loin that I turned into barbecue pork, pulled pork. Dinner ideas. Have a blessed day, guys. Bye bye.